Is 4-gate proxy in your opponent's base a viable PvT opener? Is Blizzard ever going to fix the lag hack that has been going around? And how many times can a pigeon pack a little button in 16 hours? Stay tuned to find the questions to all of these answers in today's episode of StarCraft Today.
StarCraft Today. Your favorite StarCraft news show.
Sad news for the StarCraft 2 scene, as a lag hack has been discovered on the ladder. People managing to increase their APM to about 1 million, floating their CC to the corner, making sure that the game starts lagging and eventually the game of the opponent crashes. It's not really a hack, but more of a bug abuse to make sure that opponent's game crashes. Blizzard will need to take action, but the question is, how many resources is Blizzard willing to put on? We tried reaching out to Blizzard, but sadly they haven't checked the Battle.net forums yet and responded to my post, but perhaps within the next 2 to 3 years we might be able to expect a response. This week the DreamHack Masters seasonal final kicked off with Group A, and oh what a banger it was. Hero Marine, Parting, SOS and Neep going at it. 3 Protosses and a Terran go into a group, and a Terran actually came out. Wait, what is this? Yep, Hero Marine made it out in 2nd place after taking out SOS in the first series, after playing against a build order that I honestly had never seen before. A proxy 2-3-4 gate, what even was it? SOS attempted this strategy twice, both times didn't really get a great position and ended up losing both games. Hero Marine went into the winner's match against Parting, where Parting kind of destroyed him 2-1 in pretty solid games out of Parting, the way we're used to seeing him play against Terran. And meanwhile, in the lower bracket, we saw SOS take out Neep 2-0. Then for the return match, very often in return matches in this format, we see the player that lost the first series go on to win. This time, however, it was a little bit different. SOS attempted a proxy Void Ray rush, where he got in a really good spot and then took an inexplicably bad fight, which was completely unnecessary, as he had batteries on the low ground. He was pushing forward with batteries and decided to fight away from the batteries. Then in the second game, he decided to go back to the weird proxy gate build, which failed miserably in the first series and once again failed. This time, Hero Marine decided to open up with a Reaper, pulled a massive amount of SCVs, and the Reaper just killed enough workers on the other side of the map. Once again, SOS decided to follow up with a proxy Void Ray, but didn't work out, and Hero Marine actually getting out of Group A in 2nd place. Pretty decent performance for the German, who makes the 2nd time a round of 8 appearance in the DreamHack seasonal finals. This week also had some GSL action as Group B and D kicked off, and in Group B, of course, we had good old Maru showing once again why he's considered one of the greatest Terrans in the world. He did struggle a little bit with Solar, didn't go too easy, but then in the winner's match against Dream, who managed to beat SOS, he showed once again why he is the king of everything Terran, basically. After, I think, 4.5, maybe 5 minutes, he took out Dream, and Dream was once again relegated back to the decider match, where he did manage to take out SOS. SOS having a little bit of a rough week, might be an understatement, out of DreamHack and out of GSL within a matter of days. It's gotta suck for him. Group D was also played this week with Beyond, Parting, Dark and Bunny. It was on Beyond to show that he still had it. After winning Aces Rock last year against Serral, he needed another big performance, and this GSL group, sadly for him, wasn't quite it. He went out 0-4 in a very painful losses, honestly. On the other hand, we did see another Terran do pretty well, at least show fantastic games. Bunny almost taking out Parting in the winner's match and advancing in 1st place. Sadly, that didn't happen. Parting got 1st place. Congratulations to him, obviously. And then in the decider match, Bunny also barely lost against Dark in an extremely close series. Also going the distance, lost 1-2. So sad for Bunny, but obviously Parting and Dark fans around the world rejoice, as those 2 bad boys will be making it into the round of 8. This week's game of the week was Bunny versus Parting on Romanticide. A fantastic game, a PvT that we rarely see. High level, very action-packed, and sure there were some mistakes, but it wasn't a bad or low-level game. It was actually insanely intense, and lots of stuff was happening the entire time. There were a couple of interesting fights, some bad fights. There were nukes, there were storms that couldn't go off because a prism was interference matrix. Just in general, the entire game was just super action-packed. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I thought it was extremely good, and I was very impressed by the skill level out of both Parting and Bunny. As always, this week we had 3 EPT Open Cups, and in Europe we saw a very common side, Hero Marine in the finals, taking out MaxPax in a relatively one-sided series. As Hero Marine before that already took out Showtime in a pretty one-sided series as well, 3-0, so another win for Big Gabe in Europe. In Korea we saw a more rare side, well, not completely rare, I believe Creator also won last week's cup, and this week once again showed to be a little bit too good. Managed a 3-2 cure in the semifinals and take out Zest in the finals as well, and Creator perhaps not showing the greatest performances anywhere else, but when it comes to the EPT Open Cups, he's actually doing extremely well. Zest wasn't happy with his second place and decided, you know what, I'll join in Europe and in NA. In Europe, he didn't manage to make it work, but in NA, oh yes, he did. Once again, taking out Cure in the finals, 3-1, and Zest also got his 1 cup win this week once again. This week's clip of the week is some absolutely fantastic micro by my teammate, Uthermal.
He is managing to find actually a very awkwardly set apart Protoss army. Disruptor shots trying to cover that problem though, are getting a 1 good shot, 1.5 good shots. The rest of them really aren't. Some dodging and weaving going down from Uthermal. Disruptors flying into the camera. This disruptor shot not going to find much at all either. And suddenly Uthermal has found the engagement he was looking for. The concave was too good. Estrella was just a little out of position. His army wasn't entirely together. He was actually planning on taking the main engagement at that time. And Uthermal...
That's going to be it for today's episode of StarCraft Today. But not before I tell you how many times a pigeon can peck a button in 16 hours, and that is 144,000 times. That is equal to a consistent average of 2.5 pecks per second consistently for 16 hours. And the way that they achieved that is by first instilling the habit of whenever that the pigeon would peck the food dispenser button, food would come down. After that, they changed it that the button was still there, but it didn't work. And in, I believe, random intervals, food would come down, either between like 1 or 20 pecks or something like that. So the pigeon would just peck like a madman, and eventually food would come out, and the pigeon would think, it's because of my pecking. Would keep pecking 144,000 times in 16 hours. Just think about that next time you're sitting at home on your couch watching TV, complaining that you had such a rough day at work. You didn't have to peck a button 144,000 times in 16 hours. You just have to enter some data into an Excel sheet. AI could have done it.